Hello everyone and welcome to this special video from the Spice Den. My name is Jacob and we have a lot of Star Wars news to talk about today. First and foremost, we're going to hit two main topics. It's the High Republic and Thrawn. So two of my most anticipated favorite Star Wars things to talk about right now. But we got a lot of news this morning and I'm just going to break it down here for you to make it really simple. So the first thing is we have some new High Republic concept art that's been put out. We've gotten quite a bit of this so far, but there's a little bit more that we've got today. So we're just gonna go through all those and talk about a little bit what they mentioned in the StarWars.com article. The first thing is we have this new monster called the Drengir. Quote, it's a sentient plant life who is looking to reap a terrible harvest across the galactic frontier. End quote. So a little tongue-in-cheek there. Terrible harvest. It's a plant. So we saw this on the on a variant cover of High Republic #1. So somehow this plant monster ends up with Keeve Trennis, the twin Jedis, and Siskir, whatever the Trandoshan Jedi. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. So it ends up there somehow. Potentially, maybe it's a legacy run related issue. So the legacy run, that like part of the Great Disaster at the beginning of Light of the Jedi, it's going through hyperspace, smashes into something in hyperspace, and the ship rips apart. And assuming that it's a giant cargo ship, so pieces of the ship are flying everywhere out through space, and we're dealing with the fallout of that event. So it's very possible that it's going to be kind of thing where it can become a very monster of the week concept with that, where oh yeah, it shot this monster, this like it was carrying some monster, like kind of like maybe Han and the Rathtar in The Force Awakens, but it was carrying a Drengir, and it shot it out and it lands on the Starlight Beacon. Now the Jedi have to go respond to it. It can be, there can be a lot like that comes out of that event. So I'm thinking it could be related to that. So that's the Drengir. The next is the Nihil, which we've known about for a while. One of the art pieces we got is nothing new. I think it's another variant cover from the first issue of the High Republic comic series, but two of their members. We got another one though. They're described as brutal, savage marauders based in the Outer Rim, and they're organized into three main divisions called Tempests. So, quote, the Chaos Agents can have goals, and the Nihil's plans run directly through the Republic and the Jedi Order. So some, far out, well, not far out, but a threat on the edge of the galaxy that comes into the center and causes chaos. Not something super new, but it's exciting to see what comes of the Nihil. And we also got a specific member of this group. It's Marchion Ro, who's a very cool looking character design. He's known as the Eye of the Nihil, which is a role his father also had before him. He doesn't give the direct orders. That's done by the Tempest Runners. But he's a big part and a big leader of the organization. I'm getting some, it's really interesting, art vibe, different vibes from his art style. So it kind of looks like, for those that are familiar with Destiny, I was talking about this with someone in a Discord this morning. He kind of looks like a cross between a Fallen and a Vex character from Destiny. But and he also has this chest plate that looks very similar to the Darth Vader chest plate. He has a control box too, but he has the metal breastplate that is identical to Vader's, except it's a more bronze color. And he has a mask on. He also gives me some Sidon Athano vibes, that weird red Corsair from The Force Awakens. And one thing I did notice is his skin is blue. So he has a bunch of armor on. You can't see his face, you can't see his chest, but you can see blue arms and blue hands, and I'm pretty sure that's his skin. So I don't know. It could be a Chiss. It could be a Pantoran. Those are the two main blue-skinned species we know about in the galaxy. It'd be interesting if it was a Chiss, because everything's kind of tying into the High Republic right now. Thrawn probably is no exception. So it could be potential that there's a rogue Chiss splinter that broke off and became part of this Nihil a couple centuries ago. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think it'd be very easy to work that into the history of the Ascendancy, that there's a family or just a small faction that splintered off and went into lesser space and wreaked some havoc there, and that can inform some of their actions going forward and how they are try and stay out of everyone's business. I don't think that's a direct result of this potential theory, but it's, it could reinforce that in a way. So yeah, that's Marchian Row, and that's all the concept art we got. But we did get a little bit more news about Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. It's the new Oculus VR experience that's coming out in, I believe, November now. It's coming out really soon. I unfortunately will not be able to play it because I own a Oculus Rift S, and it's only for the Quest because Oculus hates the Rift, so that sucks. But so yeah, we got some more news about that. We found out recently, like a month ago maybe, that Yoda was going to be in the game. We did get some more information about Yoda's place in the game and how he ties into Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. So the game kind of acts as like a anthology series where you're hearing tales from like the local bartender, and you're going back and kind of like living through these memories or these stories. So in we've learned today, the one with Yoda, you play as a Padawan Adi Sun Z, who kind of looks Moralian, like the same species as Luminara. But you and Yoda are there to seek out a Jedi temple on Batuu during the High Republic era. So that's that. That is one that's now going to be the first real thing we see of the High Republic. There's, we got, we've gotten sneak peeks in here and there. We've got mentions of it in other media, like the Rise of Kylo Ren. That's one of the biggest ones. Some of the newer Star Wars comics, but this is the first, like, here you're in the High Republic. That will be the first thing that comes out in November, and then you have the Star Wars Insider short story that comes out in December. One last thing, we just got a few panels from the first issue of High Republic Adventures, the younger reader comic from IDW by Daniel Jose Older. There's a few cool things. You got Yoda in there. You got the main protagonist, I believe it's like Lulu Talisola, I believe is her name. And you also get to see a Kubaz in there, so I'm really hoping that's a Kubaz Jedi. That would be pretty sweet. While I'm talking about Yoda and this Padawan, I would not be shocked to see a little bit of crossover of the High Republic Adventures line with the Tales from Galaxy's Edge story, just because both of those are involving Yoda as he's teaching Padawans in this era. It could be possible that Adi Sun Z shows up in the High Republic Adventures as another Padawan that Yoda instructs. It's a possibility. But High Republic, all out of the way, we got some big news here about Thrawn. Huge news. I was not expecting this morning. I would have had this video out sooner, but my power's been out because of Hurricane Zeta. It's been kind of getting the remnants coming through my area. But yeah, so huge news from Thrawn. We're going to start off with a very small one. Heir to the Empire, its 30th anniversary is next May the 4th, and they're getting a new t-shirt that's being produced by Out of Print. It's available November 17th, and it's just kind of the cover art design for Heir of the Empire. It looks nice, but it's a $30 t-shirt, so I'm probably not going to jump on that. Number 2 is there's a new special edition print of Chaos Rising by the same company, Out of Print. It looks incredible. Blue pages, just like this version right here. Yeah, it has the blue pages. It's going to have a nice Thrawn cover art of him in his Chiss Defense Expansionary Fleet uniform, the nice black uniform. It's going to be signed by Timothy Zahn, and it's going to be limited to 750 copies at $150 a piece. So it's a little steep, but it looks beautiful. You can go check it out at outofprint.com or their website and see some of the different shots they have of it. It looks amazing. It also will be available for order on November 17th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you want that, hop on that. There's only 750. I'm not sure. I doubt they're going to last that long. So go check that out if you're interested. And then, surprisingly, that's not the biggest news today. The biggest news is the next book of the Thrawn trilogy has been announced. That is Thrawn Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good. And that... it looks great. We have the cover art. We have the release date. That's May 4th. And I am incredibly excited. So I have the cover art up here. We also, this is my copy of Chaos Rising. Just comparing the cover art. In this one, you have the white. You have the shadow of a Star Destroyer shadow in Thrawn's wake with the design of the Chimera there, which we also learn the origin of in the book. So in this new one, we still have that. Well, the colors are flip flopped. You have a red back. You have the black Chimera design, and you have Thrawn in white. So you have the color swap there. But instead of that being in his shadow, he's walking more into it. He's coming into this design. I think we're going to see a lot more of the evolution of his character, closer to what we know in the Imperial era. So I'm really excited about that. But we got a little tidbit. I'm just going to read it straight from the website about what's going to happen in this new book. So here we go. Diving further into the ramifications of the events of the first book in the series, Chaos Rising: Greater Good finds Thrawn at the heart of big changes coming to the Chiss Ascendancy. With no time to bask in the laurels of his victory, Thrawn and his allies in the Chiss Expansionary Defense Force must race against the clock to uncover a plot to tear their society asunder. Here's the full description for what you can expect. Here we go. Thrawn's latest triumph still rests newly on his shoulders. Despite leading the Chiss to victory and bringing glory to the House of Myth, the true threat to the Ascendancy has not yet been extinguished. Their foes do not send threats or ultimatums or mass ships on the edge of the chaos. Their weapons come cloaked in smiles and generosity. Gifts offered freely, services granted unconditionally. Across the Ascendancy, seemingly inconsequential events could herald the doom of the Chiss. As Thrawn and the Expansionary Defense Fleet rally to uncover the enemy plot, they discover a chilling truth. Rather than invade Chiss capitals or pillage resources, this mysterious enemy strikes at the very foundation of the Ascendancy by widening the rifts between the 9 ruling families and the 40 great houses below. As rivalry and suspicion sow discord among allies, each warrior must decide what matters most, the security of their family or the survival of the Ascendancy itself. So that's that. That sounds thrilling. I really like one of the parts I love the most. We're about to hit some light spoilers for the first book, so just be aware. One of the things I loved the most about the first book was how much we learned about the Chiss, like their society, their culture, the aristocracy, the syndicature. It was so fascinating, and I really wanted more of that. That sounds like exactly what we're going to get. We're probably going to get a little less military action, which is fine. There's plenty of that in Star Wars to go around. But it looks like we're going to get a lot more political intrigue. Thrawn's going to be out of his depth. I'm sure there's going to be art related to it somehow with, whoever this mysterious threat is coming from. And we did get a sneak peek at that at the end. This is now going full spoilers for the last book. We got a sneak peek of what's gonna come in the last book. So we learned at the the last page, there's a new threat, a big bad out there that is unknown to us, named Jixtis. It's someone that had some influence with Yiv, who had failed. And Kilori, that shrewd Kilori has somehow gotten contact with Jixtis, and it looks like the next step of trying to crush the Chiss is here, but now less militarily and more politically. This seems like, from the eyes of someone who would try and disarm the society, this makes a lot of sense. There's already a lot of problems, a lot of distrust between the families. So much political maneuvering going on that this seems like a very clear spot to shove a wedge and try and break up the Chiss. So there's that. It looks great. I'm so excited to see who Jixtis might be and what could be going on here. I want to throw this out here just to have it on record. I've been talking about it with some people in the Utini community that my long shot conspiracy theory is that Jixtis is or is tied to Thrawn's missing sister. So in Chaos Rising, we find out that Thrawn had a sister that disappeared when he was young. She was an older sister, and it's probably she became a Skywalker within the Chiss fleet. He never saw her again, and that kind of had a big impact on his life. I like my far shot just stupid theory that probably won't happen, but I want to have it on record here in case it does. Is that she became disillusioned with the Chiss because of how she was basically used as an object for the first 10 years of her life, and then harbored a grudge against the whole society and wanted to do something about it. So she, if your main threat in the second book is someone that's driving a wedge in between the families, that probably means there's someone on the inside, or at least they have someone to work with on the inside. So this part of the theory wasn't there when I first threw it out there, but I think there's at least like a small fraction of a chance that Thrawn's sister is going to come back in a big way, and maybe she's Jixtus, maybe she works for Jixtus. Is that the case? Probably not, but I think that would be kind of crazy, and I'm just calling my shot here so I can wind the clock back in May 4th when this comes out to if that is the case. So that's a lot. That was a lot. I think that's everything we got to talk about. We got Thrawn out of the way. We got the High Republic out of the way. I'm going to try and do a write-up of all this on thespiceden.com if you want to read instead of watch this. Well, if you've gotten this far, then you've watched it anyways. But yeah, hopefully that'll have most of the information there as well. And you can either go to that website or in the description down below and pre-order your copy of Thrawn Ascendancy, The Greater Good. I know I will be doing that very soon. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked what you had to hear, go ahead and hit a subscribe button. You can check me out on Twitter or Instagram at the Spiceden Pod, or you can check out the podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher. We're pretty much everywhere. YouTube. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. May the Force be with you.